everyone. Today I am going to explain W. Waite's poem The Prayer for My Daughter. W. Waite was born in 1865 in Dublin and he took his education there in Dublin and Hammersmith. From an early age, he has created his interest in writings under the influence of Irish heritage and he received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. The present poem, The Prayer for My Daughter, is written in 1919 and later on it is published in an anthology, Michael Roberts and the Dancers, in 1923, just after World War I. It is an autobiographical poem. It contains 10 stanzas, including 8 lines in each stanza. The poem is a little bit longer, so see the first stanza. I read the first stanza. Once more, the storm is howling, and half hid under this cradle hood and cover lid, my child sleeps calm. There is no obstacle but Gregory's wood and one bare hill, whereby the haystack and roof leveling wind, bred on the Atlantic, can be stayed. And for an hour I have walked and prayed, because of the great gloom that is in my mind. In this first stanza, poet says that there is a strong wind and it means one storm is outside and other is in his mind. His small child is sleeping in the cradle without any disturbance. Here poet has given the reference of his daughter Annie. Actually this poem is also written after his daughter's birth, and so he has given the reference of his daughter also in this poem, and it will help you to understand the first two lines. There is nothing to stop the situation. Here poet gives the reference of his friend Grigori. Grigori was a famous Irish cricketer who was killed by Italian army and his father could not save him. Therefore poet says, like Grigori's father, how can he save his daughter? Grigori's farm becomes graveyard and there is no one. There is only heap of grass and roof leveling wind. This storm is coming from Atlantic, means from far away, and it will stay there. There is the great gloom in his mind, and he walked and prayed for his daughter in that mood. Now I read the second stanza. I have walked and prayed for this young child an hour, and heard the sea wind scream upon the tower, and under the arches of the bridge, and scream in the elms above the flooded stream, imagining in excited reverie that the future years had come, dancing to a frenzied drum out of murderous innocence of the sea. See, what does poet say in the second stanza? He is walking and praying for an hour. His mind is very sad because he is more worried about his daughter Annie. Whenever he goes, he hears the screams. He hears the scream upon the tower and the arches of the bridge and in the elm trees above the flooded stream. It means everywhere he listens the sound. People are going to become more violent in the society and future becomes present. The poet imagines the future in a state of deep thought that the future has come out of the treacherous innocent sea and it is dancing like the crazy beat of the drums. Now see the third stanza. May she be granted beauty and yet not beauty, to make a stranger's eye distraught, or hers before a looking glass for such being made beautiful overmuch. Consider beauty a sufficient end, lose natural kindness, and maybe the heart revealing intimacy that chooses right and never find a friend. In this third stanza, poet thinks that her daughter should have the beauty but not excessive beauty, because excessive beauty gives the troubles to others, and because of overmuch beauty she will spend time in looking glass. She wishes that her daughter's beauty and must not be like Morgan. Here, poet has given the reference of Morgan. Morgan was the most beautiful woman whom poet loved much, but she rejected his proposal so many times and chose a wrong partner. He thinks that such type of beauty is the end of life. The most beautiful women lose natural kindness and inner beauty. They never find a friend and an appropriate partner in life. Now, I read the next stanza, the stanza number 4. Helen, being chosen, found life flat and dull, and latter had much trouble from a fool, while that great queen that rose out of the spray, being fatherless, could have her way, yet chose a bandy-legged smith for man. It's certain that fine women eat a crazy salad with their meat, whereby the horn of plenty is undone. Now, see the fourth stanza. First, we have to understand the references of Helen and the Great Queen. First, I explain that who is Helen. Poet gives another example from Greek mythology here. Helen was flat and dull in her life. Helen was the most beautiful daughter of Zeus and Leda. She married a foolish man, Milanus. Later on, she eloped with Prince Paris of Troy and brought the destruction of Troy. Again, poet gives the reference of Aphrodite, who is known Venus, goddess of love, who born out of ocean, and because of this, she is fatherless. She has not taken guidance from her father, being fatherless. So she married with a bandy-legged smith man, Hephaestus, and betrayed him later on. She has not used her intellect while choosing her husband. So it is certain that the beautiful women like a crazy salad and forget the prosperity in life. Now I read the next stanza, stanza number 5. In courtesy, I would have her chiefly learnt. Hearts are not had as a gift, but hearts are earned by those that are not entirely beautiful, yet many that have played the fool. For beauty's very self has charm made wise, and many a poor man that has rode, loved and thought himself beloved from a glad kindness cannot take his eyes. This in this fifth stanza, poet has focused on the desire of his inner thought. Because of courtesy, the hearts are earned, and not because of beauty. The courtesy is gained through good works. In this regard, he gives an example of Morgan. Poet has given so many times the references of Morgan. It shows that he is very attached to his thinking about Morgan. She was very beautiful but not used her intellect. There are not many most beautiful women, but they are kind and helpful. So men are poor and stupid. As they see the ugly woman, they are not attracted by a glad kindness. Here, poet has talked about the inner beauty and outer beauty of a person or a woman. Now, I read the sixth stanza. May she become a flourishing hidden tree, that all her thoughts may like the linnet be, and have no business but dispensing round their magnanimities of sound, nor but in merriment being a chase, nor but in merriment a quarrel, or may she live like some green laurel, rooted in one dear perpetual place. In the sixth stanza, poet says that his daughter should become like a flourishing tree, and her thoughts should be pleasant and pure like linnet. Here we have to understand what is that linnet. A linnet is a small bird who sings a melodious song. So poet's daughter should be like a linnet. She should talk about good and happy things. She should be rooted permanently at one place like some green laurel. Now I read the next stanza, stanza number 7. My mind, because the minds that I have loved, that sort of beauty that I have approved, prosperous, prosper but little, has dried up of late, yet knows that to be choked with hate. may well be of all evil chances chief, if there is no hatred in a mind, assault and battery of the wind can never tear the linnet from the leaf. In this stanza, poet talks about his heart and mind. He loved Morgan because of her beauty, and later on it is dried up. She married a fool, John McBride, who never satisfied her. Then poet prays for his daughter to keep away his daughter from such evils. He further says, if there is no hatred in mind, then life becomes full of happiness and innocence. See the next stanza. An intellectual hatred is the worst, so let her think opinions are accursed. Have I not seen the loveliest woman born out of the mouth of plenty's horn? Because of her opinionated mind, barter that horn and every good. By quiet natures understood, for an old bellows full of angry wind. In this stanza, poet expresses that an intellectual hatred is the worst. Everyone has different opinions, so he tells his daughter to avoid such type of hatred. Morgan was a loveliest woman, but her beauty becomes useless when she chooses worthless person as a husband. Now I read the next stanza, stanza number 9. Considering that all hatred driven hence, the soul recovers radical innocence and learns at last that it is self delighting, self appeasing, self uprighting, and that its own sweet will is heaven's will. She can, though every face should scold, and every windy quarter hole, or every bellows burst, be happy still. In the eighth stanza, poet expresses that an intellectual hatred is the worst. Everyone has different opinions, but in the ninth stanza, he says that if all hatred is driven out from mind, then soul finds radical innocence and it will become self delighting, self appeasing, self uprighting. This is the will of heaven. Here, poet says that heaven means God. God says that her daughter will face any anger. Such will keep her out of evil things. She will keep herself and others happy even though she goes through the misfortunes and hardships. The last stanza, stanza number 10th, and may her bridegroom brings her to house where all's accustomed ceremonies for arrogance and hatred are the wares peddled in the thoroughfares. How but in custom and in ceremony are innocence and beauty born? Ceremony is name for the rich horn and custom for the spreading laurel tree. Here in the last stanza, poet says that our poet wishes that her daughter should marry in the aristocratic family. Her bridegroom brings her to a house where all the cultural values are preserved. Here, poet says that her daughter should be happy. There will be no arrogance and hatred in custom and ceremony as culture. Only innocence and beauty will be there. Here, ceremony means the prosperity, and custom means permanent joy, like laurel tree. The laurel tree is a evergreen tree. In this way, throughout the poem, poet has expressed his feelings about his life and his daughter's present and future as a caring and affectionate father. Thank you. I hope you will understand it with some references and it will be helpful for the learners. For